have you ever found yourself browsing a website, maybe looking for, a new service or a product, and then you see it? That kind of unsettling, not secure warning just staring at you from your browser bar? Or maybe you notice that tiny padlock icon, the one that should be there, is just, well, missing.
Oh, yeah. It's such a small detail, isn't it? But wow, that small detail sends this huge silent message.
Right.
It basically screams, this site might not be safe. You know, proceed with caution. Or maybe just don't proceed at all.
Exactly. And for anyone running a business online, whether you're just starting out, a small business owner, maybe a founder pouring everything into your vision, that feeling, it's an instant trust killer.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Instant trust code. You could have the most amazing product, the best service ever, but if that little padlock isn't locked, or worse, if you get that big red warning,
Forget it.
yeah, your potential customers' mental alarm bells just go off. And once that trust is shaken,
Yeah.
it is incredibly hard to win back.
It really is. So today we're taking a deep dive into that silent sales tool, that digital padlock, the SSL certificate. It's often overlooked, right? Sometimes people just see it as like a technical thing IT needs to handle. But as we're about to unpack, it's absolutely crucial. Crucial for building trust with your customers and maybe even more directly for your bottom line.
Our mission today really is to unpack what SSL actually is, why it matters way beyond just quote-unquote security, and how it's actually a powerful strategic win for your business.
Strategic win. I like that framing.
Yeah, we want to empower you, our listeners, to grow smarter, not just harder, by really getting these foundational digital pieces right. And, our source material from Crespo AI's digital library puts it really well. In today's web-first economy, trust is currency. It truly is.
That's a great line. Trust is currency.
SSL. It's effectively your digital vault. It's the fortified door protecting your business and your customers.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at how this seemingly simple technology impacts, well, everything from how your sensitive customer data is protected to your search engine rankings and ultimately your customers' decision to trust you and, buy from you. It's fundamental.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We see the padlock, we hear the word security, but honestly, for a lot of us, the technical side gets fuzzy really fast.
Yeah.
So what is SSL at its core? Like, what does secure sockets layer even mean in plain English for a business owner who just wants their website to, work and be safe?
Mm.
And how does it connect to that HTTPS we see, that S we're always told to look for? Our source material even says it's about legitimacy as much as security. How do those two things connect?
That's a fantastic question because it really gets right to the heart of its business value beyond just the tech. So at its simplest, SSL, or Secure Sockets Layer, is a protocol, which is just, a fancy word for a set of rules.
Oh.
Rules that encrypt sensitive information exchange between your website and its visitors. Think of it like creating a secure private tunnel for data.
A secure tunnel. Okay, I can picture that.
Yeah, and to make it even clearer, imagine you're trying to send a really confidential message, right?
Right.
Maybe a crucial business contract or some sensitive financial details.
Right.
And you have to send it across a busy public square. Without SSL, it's like you're just shouting that information out loud.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, anyone within earshot could listen in, write it down, maybe misuse it. That's pretty much how data travels on the internet without SSL. It's just plain text, totally exposed.
Completely open.
Completely open. But with SSL, it's like your message gets put inside this specially designed, totally opaque, really tough container. And only the person it's meant for has the unique key to open it.
Ah, okay.
So you put your message in this secure box, send it across the square. Even if someone manages to grab it, all they see is this jumbled mess of characters. It's meaningless to them.
Because it's encrypted.
Exactly. They can't decipher it. That's the core idea of the secure tunnel. Only the sender and the receiver can actually see and understand what's inside. It's private, it's personal, and it's, deeply protected.
Got it. And the S is in HTTPS.
Right. That S simply means that the normal way you access web pages, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP, is now secure. Why? Because SSL is active. It's that simple. HTTP plus SSL equals HTTPS.
Okay, that clarifies the HTTPS part perfectly. Now, about that legitimacy piece, how does security translate into legitimacy? The source mentioned Christian Crespo connecting those two.
Yes, that's a really critical distinction for businesses. Christian Crespo, co-founder and chief brand strategist, is quoted saying, SSL isn't just about security, it's about legitimacy.
Right.
Security is the mechanism, you see. It's the technical process, the encryption, the tunnel. But legitimacy is the outcome. It's how your customer perceives you. and, frankly, how search engines and the whole digital world see you.
Okay, the outcome. I like that.
And think about this common misconception. Oh, my site doesn't take payments, so I don't really need SSL.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
It's such a dangerous myth. Even if you don't process credit cards directly on your site, your website almost certainly collects some kind of sensitive data.
Like what?
Well, are you collecting names, email addresses, phone numbers through a contact form?
Probably, yeah. Most sites do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or are you letting customers create accounts with usernames and passwords? Maybe they're booking appointments or requesting quotes.
Okay, yeah. Lots of ways.
All of that information, if it's sent over an unsecured connection, plain old HTTP, it's vulnerable. It can be intercepted in transit by, malicious actors, hackers. It puts your customers' privacy completely at risk.
So it's way broader than just credit card numbers. It's any personal identifiable information, really.
Precisely. And that's a crucial point because, like you said earlier, many small businesses might think, oh, I'm not Amazon. I don't need that Fort Knox level security. But you do need to protect basic personal info.
And it's not just about being nice, is it? There are actual rules now.
Absolutely. The repercussions go way beyond just, potentially exposing data. In today's regulatory world, protecting personal data isn't just good practice. It's often a legal requirement.
Like GDPR.
Exactly. Regulations like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California, they mandate specific protections for user data. If you're operating without SSL and collecting personal information, you could easily be found non-compliant. And that can lead to really significant fines, not to mention serious damage to your reputation.
Okay, so legal risk, too. Big one.
Huge. But with SSL properly implemented, everything is locked down, automatically, instantly. Your customer sees that padlock, they see HTTPS in the URL, and even if they don't know the tech details, they subconsciously register, okay, this business seems real, they're serious, they care about keeping my info safe.
It's like a visual cue.
It's a powerful, immediate visual cue. And that cue builds this essential layer of legitimacy. So it's not just protecting data, it's protecting your brand's reputation and giving your customer peace of mind. And honestly, those are invaluable assets today.
Yeah, you can't really put a price on that trust.
You really can't. And, there are actually different levels of SSL certificates that can signal even more legitimacy. You often hear about a few main types.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's domain validated, or DV. That's the most basic, most common type. It just verifies that you actually own the domain name. They're quick to get, often free, like the ones from Let's Encrypt, and they provide that essential encryption tunnel. That's the baseline.
Okay, so that's the standard padlock we usually see.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then you have organization validated, or OV. These require more checking. They verify your domain, and they verify that your organization, your business is legitimate. It involves some paperwork, checking business registrations, that kind of thing. So it offers a higher level of trust.
Right, a step up.
And then there's the top tier, extended validation, or EV certificates. You've probably seen these. It's where the company's actual verified name appears right there in the browser bar, often in green, next to the padlock.
Ah, yes. I've seen those on banking sites mostly.
Exactly. They require really extensive verification of your business identity. They're often used by big e-commerce sites, financial institutions, places where signaling the absolute highest level of trust and legitimacy is paramount. It costs more, it takes more effort, but it provides that maximum visual assurance.
Wow, okay. That's a great breakdown. I honestly just thought, a padlock is a padlock. But clearly, there's more depth, more signaling involved.
Definitely.
Well,
different levels for different needs. But the core principle of encryption and trust remains.
Okay, so it's a secure tunnel, it's a secret language for data, and it's a fundamental signal of legitimacy, maybe even with different strengths. But how does that tunnel actually work? The source mentions asymmetric encryption and public and private keys. That still sounds pretty technical, and I know for a lot of business owners, that's where the eyes might start to glaze over a little bit.
Fair enough. It can sound intimidating.
Can you break that down for us, like really simply, without needing a computer science degree? How does my browser know it's connecting securely? How does it know my data is safe in that tunnel?
Absolutely. Let's demystify it. The core mechanism is called asymmetric encryption. The name sounds complex, I know, but the concept itself is actually quite elegant. It uses two different mathematically linked keys, a public key and a private key.
Okay, two keys, public and private.
Right. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a very special kind of gate with a padlock on it. You can make copies of this padlock that's your public key, and you can give these copies to anyone you want to send you something securely.
Okay, so anyone can get a copy of the lock.
Exactly. Anyone can use your public key, your padlock copy, to lock a box containing their message for you.
Hmm?
But, and this is the crucial part, only you have the unique matching key that can unlock that specific padlock. That's your private key.
Ah, so only I can open the box they locked.
Precisely. Anyone can lock the box for you using the public key, but only you, with your private key, can open it. And critically, that private key never leaves your secure server. It's kept secret.
Got it. Public key locks, private key unlocks, and the private key stays hidden.
You got it. That's the fundamental principle. Now let's see how it plays out when your browser connects to a secure website. It's this quick, silent dance that happens in milliseconds. It's often called the SSL handshake.
The handshake. Okay.
So when you type in a website address starting with HTTPS or click a secure link, the very first thing your browser does is reach out to that website's server. It basically says, hey, I want to talk to you securely.
Knock, knock.
Pretty much. The website server then responds by sending your browser its public key, basically, handing over a copy of that special padlock we talked about.
Okay, browser gets the padlock.
Right. Your browser then does something clever. It generates a unique one-time session key. Think of this as a super secret temporary key just for this specific conversation.
A temporary key.
Yep. Then your browser encrypts this session key using the website's public key, the padlock it just received. It sends this encrypted session key back to the website's server.
So it locks the temporary key in the box.
Exactly. Now, only the website, using its secret private key, the one it never shares, can decrypt that message and retrieve the session key.
Ah, because only it has the key to that specific padlock.
Bingo. Once both your browser and the website's server have this shared secret session key, and only they have it, they effectively bind together. They form a secure, encrypted session. It's like they've instantly agreed on a secret code or language that only the two of them understand for the rest of this particular visit.
Wow. Okay, that's clever.
It really is. And from that very moment on, any information you type into that website, your name, email, password, credit card number, whatever, is immediately encrypted using that shared secret session key before it even leaves your computer.
So the message gets scrambled before it goes into the tunnel.
Correct. It travels through the internet as that jumbled, unreadable mess. Even if a digital eavesdropper, a hacker, intercepts it mid-journey, all they'll get is gibberish. They can't make sense of it.
Because they don't have the session key.
Exactly. Then, when the website server receives that encrypted data, it uses the same shared session key to decrypt it back into readable form so it can process your request or transaction.
And this all happens. How fast?
In milliseconds. Completely invisible to you, the user. You just see the page load, hopefully quickly. But underneath, this intricate handshake and encryption process has established that secure tunnel. It's the foundation of secure communication online.
That makes so much more sense now. It's not just a symbol, it's this whole rapid-fire process of key exchanges and secret codes. It really is a powerful, invisible shield.
It is.
But, what happens if something goes wrong? Because I know I've occasionally seen warnings like mixed content or maybe something about the certificate being expired. What do those mean for a business owner? And how might they impact that trust we've been talking about, even if you thought you had SSL set up?
That's an excellent point, because just having an SSL certificate isn't always a set it and forget it kind of deal. There are common issues that can pop up and totally undermine that hard-earned trust.
Okay, like what?
Well, one of the most frequent issues is a mixed content warning. This happens when your main page is loaded securely over HTTPS. But some elements on that page, maybe images, videos, sometimes scripts or style sheets, are still being pulled in over an insecure HTTP connection.
Ah, so part of the page is secure, but other bits aren't.
Exactly. Your browser sees this discrepancy, and to protect you, it flags it. The padlock icon might look broken or have a little warning symbol next to it. It's basically telling the user, hey, this page isn't fully secure.
Which completely defeats the purpose, right?
Pretty much. From a business owner's perspective, this means even though you have an SSL certificate installed, your site still looks less trustworthy. It can confuse visitors, maybe even scare them off. The fix usually involves making sure all assets, every single image, script, everything is loaded via HTTPS. It's often a simple adjustment in your website code or your content management system settings, but it needs to be done.
Okay, mixed content. Got it. What else? You mentioned expired certificates.
Yes, that's another big one. Just like your driver's license or, carton of milk, SSL certificates have an expiration date. They're typically valid for a year, sometimes less now.
Right.
If your certificate isn't renewed before it expires, browsers will throw up a huge, often bright red warning page. It essentially shouts, "Warning, this site is not secure, connection is not private."
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. They definitely make you hit the back button fast.
Instantly. It's an immediate conversion killer. There's almost no way a user is proceeding past that warning. So businesses absolutely need to stay on top of renewals. Set up calendar reminders, enable auto-renewal with your hosting provider or certificate authority, whatever it takes to prevent that critical lapse. Right. Letting your SSL expire is like putting a giant "do not enter" sign on your digital front door.
Wow. Okay, so maintenance is key too. It's not just a one-time setup.
Absolutely. And, our source material includes a really vivid analogy from Brendan Crespo, co-founder, business operations expert. He says, imagine a hacker placing a digital stethoscope on your server.
A digital stethoscope. Okay.
SSL blocks the sound.
Right.
Without SSL, or with one that's expired or poorly configured, like with mixed content, that sound, all your sensitive personal info, every password, every credit card number would be crystal clear to anyone listening with that stethoscope.
Yeah.
But with a properly implemented and maintained SSL certificate, that digital stethoscope just picks up static, nothing. It's a powerful way to think about the robust, invisible shield SSL provides, ensuring your visitors' private details stay private and that your business projects that image of unwavering reliability.
Wow, that digital stethoscope analogy really does paint a clear picture. And it sounds like even if you think you've got SSL covered, there are these details like mixed content or expiry dates that you really need to watch.
Definitely.
So, okay, it's clearly vital for protecting data, building that baseline trust, handling potential legal issues, all absolutely essential stuff. But our source material also makes this bold claim that I find really fascinating, especially for busy business owners like our listeners: SSL, SEO plus sales. How does a security protocol suddenly morph into a marketing and sales tool? This is where it gets really interesting, I think, for small business owners looking to grow. We're always searching for those, dual purpose solutions, something that handles a technical need, but also directly helps drive revenue or visibility.
You've absolutely hit on a crucial point there. It's something busy entrepreneurs often miss, right? They see SSL purely as this technical checkbox, maybe something the IT person or the web developer handles, not as a powerful lever for actual business growth, but it fundamentally is. Let's break down exactly how SSL directly impacts your SEO, your search engine optimization, and consequently your sales.
Okay, let's do it. SEO first. How does a padlock help me rank higher on Google?
Right, so first off, let's talk SSL and SEO. This is a really big one, and it's not even a new thing. Way back in 2014, Google announced that it would start actively favoring HTTPS websites, remember, that sites secured with SSL in its search rankings.
2014. Wow, that's a while ago now.
It is. And it wasn't just a suggestion or some minor factor. It was a clear signal from Google to website owners everywhere. Secure sites, it's important for users, so it's important to us. Google's whole mission, after all, is to give users the best, safest possible experience online, and a secure website is absolutely fundamental to that.
Makes sense. They want to send users to safe places.
Exactly. Now, fast forward to today, and the implications are even stronger. It's not just Google favoring HTTPS. It's that non-secure sites, those still on HTTP, are actively flagged by pretty much all major browsers. Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge. They all do it.
That's the not secure warning we talked about.
Precisely. That prominent not secure warning, sometimes in red text, sometimes with a broken padlock icon,
Yeah.
that directly impacts your visibility because it massively impacts user behavior.
That's so.
Think about it from the user's perspective. They do a search, they click your link, and bam, the first thing they see, even before your logo or headline loads, is this glaring warning, not secure. What's their immediate, almost subconscious reaction?
Click away, hit the back button.
Exactly. They bounce. They leave your site before they even get a chance to see your amazing content, your products, your services. They might just go straight back to the search results and click on your competitor's link instead, assuming their site is secure.
Ouch. So all that effort to get them to click is wasted?
Totally wasted. And Brian Jaglol, founder and managing partner at Crespo AI, puts it really powerfully in our source material. He says, Google's telling users, don't trust this site. That's not a risk you can afford.
Wow. Yeah, when you put it like that.
Think about all the effort you put into SEO, right?
Uh,
Creating great content, optimizing keywords, building backlinks, all to climb those search rankings. But if your site isn't secured with SSL, all that work can be instantly undermined the moment someone clicks through.
because they just leave immediately.
Right. A higher search ranking is supposed to mean more organic traffic. More organic traffic should mean more potential leads, more customers. But if that traffic lands on a page flagged as not secure, your bounce rates are going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
That high bounce rate basically negates your SEO efforts.
And does Google notice that high bounce rate?
Absolutely. Google's algorithms don't just look at whether you have HTTPS or not. They pay close attention to user signals. If users are consistently clicking on your link in the search results and then immediately bouncing back, that sends a strong negative signal to Google. It tells the algorithm, hey, users aren't finding what they want here, or worse, this site isn't providing a good, trustworthy user experience.
So it could actually hurt your rankings over time.
Definitely. Over time, this can lead to your rankings actively declining. So if SEO matters to your business, and let's be honest, for most online businesses today, organic traffic is vital, then SSL is absolutely no longer optional. It's foundational. It's the baseline requirement just to be considered legitimate and trustworthy by the world's most dominant search engine. It's truly a smarter way to ensure your visibility efforts aren't wasted.
Okay, that link between SSL and SEO is crystal clear now. It's not just a nice to have, it's table stakes for visibility.
Pretty much.
Now, what about the actual money side? Let's talk payments. If I run an e-commerce store, or maybe I just take booking deposits through my website for a service, how critical is SSL for those actual financial transactions? The source calls it non-negotiable. Is it really that absolute? Or is there any wiggle room for, say, a very small business just starting out, maybe trying to keep tech costs down?
Zero wiggle room. Absolutely unequivocally non-negotiable.
Wow, okay. No gray area there.
None whatsoever when it comes to online payments, regardless of your business size. If your website accepts payments directly, meaning the customer enters their card details on your site, then SSL is mandatory. Period.
Why is it so strict?
It's a hard requirement enforced by the payment gateways themselves. Companies like Stripe, PayPal, Square, Authorize.net, and also by modern web browsers. They simply will not process financial transactions over an unencrypted connection.
So the payment just wouldn't go through.
Correct. Imagine a customer trying to pay for something on your site. They enter their card details, hit submit, and then maybe their browser throws up a massive red security warning. Or perhaps the payment processor simply refuses to connect to your server because it detects the lack of encryption. The transaction fails. That's precisely what happens without SSL.
Okay, that's obviously terrible for business.
It's a business killer. And the reason it's so strict is because SSL is essential for protecting incredibly sensitive financial and personal data during that transaction.
Look at the credit card number itself.
Yes, the card number, obviously.
Right.
The expiration date, the CVV code, that little 3 or 4-digit security code usually on the back. But it's also about protecting customer logins and passwords if they have an account on your site. It protects their billing address, their shipping address, their phone number, their email, all the contact information tied to the purchase.
Right, all that stuff you fill out at checkout.
All of it. And if any of that data gets compromised because it was sent without encryption, it can lead to severe identity theft and financial fraud for your customers. That's a nightmare scenario for them, and it becomes a massive liability for your business.
Liability, like lawsuits.
Absolutely. Without SSL protecting payment transactions, your site isn't just risking your customers getting defrauded. Your business faces serious, immediate consequences. You could absolutely face lawsuits from customers whose data was breached due to your negligence in securing the transaction.
Okay, that's scary enough.
But it gets worse. The payment card industry itself has its own strict set of security standards, known as PCI DSS, that stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard.
PCI compliance. Heard of that.
Right. And a core requirement of PCI DSS is the mandatory use of SSL/TLS encryption for all transmission of cardholder data across open public networks like the Internet. If you're processing payments without SSL, you are fundamentally non-compliant with PCI DSS.
And what happens then?
Well, beyond potential fines from the card brands, the payment processors, Stripe, PayPal, etc., will simply refuse to work with you. They can and will suspend or terminate your account. You could face platform bans, meaning you literally lose the ability to accept any online payments.
Wow. So you'd be completely cut off.
Completely. So, you see, this isn't just about good practice or making customers feel a bit safer. This is about the fundamental operational capability and legal compliance of your business in the digital marketplace. If you cannot accept payments securely, you simply don't have a functioning online business. It really is that stark.
Yeah.
And that's a risk no smart business owner, big or small, can possibly afford to take.
Non-negotiable indeed. Okay, that's incredibly clear. So we've covered SEO vital for getting found. We've covered payment security, absolutely essential for actually doing business. Both are super tangible benefits. But what about that third element? The one that feels a bit more intangible, maybe?
Yeah.
Yet you said it's maybe the most powerful driver of all. Trust. How does that tiny little padlock actually build big trust with customers, especially when, let's be honest, most of them probably don't know the difference between SSL, TLS, or asymmetric encryption?
Right.
And how fast do people make that judgment? Is it a conscious thing, like, oh, good, a padlock, or is it more subconscious, almost instantaneous?
That's exactly where the psychology of SSL comes into play. And you're right, it's arguably the most potent sales driver because it taps into fundamental human instincts about safety and credibility.
Okay.
Consider this statistic from our source. Over 44.5% of internet users browse with Google Chrome. And Chrome is just one of the major browsers that makes the security status of a website incredibly visible right up there in the address bar.
Yeah, it's right there at the top.
So these users, nearly half the internet, potentially more. When you add other browsers, they see your security status before they even properly register your brand logo or read your compelling headline. That little padlock icon, or its absence, or worse, that warning symbol, is often the very first impression your site makes. It's a silent judgment passed in literal milliseconds.
Yo, milliseconds, that fast.
That fast.
Yeah.
A missing padlock, an open lock icon, or that glaring not secure warning in red text, these are instant red flags. It's a direct visual cue that triggers an immediate, often visceral reaction in your visitors. It plants a seed of doubt. Is this site actually safe? Should I really be here? Can I trust them with my email address, let alone my credit card?
Yeah, it creates friction immediately.
Exactly. Crespo calls an open lock or a not secure warning a conversion killer. And he's absolutely right. You could have the world's best product, the most persuasive sales copy, the most beautiful website design. But if a visitor perceives your site as insecure right off the bat, they're likely gone.
They won't stick around to be convinced.
They won't convert, they won't buy, they might not even stick around long enough to read your glowing testimonials or understand what you offer. That initial lack of trust is just too high a hurdle for most people to overcome.
I can totally relate to that feeling. I know I've done myself plenty of times.
Yeah.
Land on a site, see that warning, and just boom, back button. You don't even really think about it consciously. It's almost like an automatic reflex.
It is. It's a digital self-preservation reflex. Now, flip that around. When a visitor arrives and instantly sees that reassuring locked padlock and the HTTPS, what happens?
Relief. Confidence.
Exactly. Adding SSL visibly demonstrates to your customers that you take their privacy and security seriously. It's an immediate signal of professionalism, of reliability, of attention to detail. It communicates without you having to say a single word. We've invested in making this interaction secure for you.
It sets a positive tone right away.
It absolutely does. And that foundational trust, established in those first milliseconds, then fuels everything else that ultimately drives sales and business growth. It leads directly to higher conversion rates because people feel comfortable clicking buttons, making a purchase, filling out that contact form, signing up for your newsletter. They're not second-guessing the safety of the interaction.
Less friction, more action.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. This trust also leads to more organic referrals. Why? Because customers who feel safe and have a positive experience are far more likely to recommend your business to their friends, family, or colleagues.
Good point. Word of mouth is huge.
Huge. And crucially, it builds long-term customer loyalty. Trust is the absolute bedrock of any lasting relationship, whether it's personal or business. Think about your own favorite online stores or service providers. Do you ever actively worry about their security when you use them?
Probably not, no. I just assume they're secure.
Exactly. Because they've consistently provided a secure experience, they've built that implicit trust with you over time. SSL is a key part of establishing and maintaining that trust.
So it's like this nonverbal promise.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's a nonverbal promise to every single visitor. You're safe here. And this trust, it weaves itself into the very fabric of your overall brand perception. When customers consistently feel safe, respected, and secure interacting with your platform, they develop a much deeper sense of loyalty.
They keep coming back.
They keep coming back. They spend more over their lifetime as a customer. They become advocates for your brand, and they choose you over a competitor who might seem a bit less buttoned up or secure. This intangible trust, fostered by the tangible presence of an SSL certificate, really is the ultimate sales driver. It's silently working 24/7 to build your reputation, grow your customer base, and increase customer lifetime value. It's a truly strategic move that pays dividends long, long after that initial, often simple, implementation.
Wow. Okay, that's a fantastic, really comprehensive breakdown. It makes it so clear that SSL is it's far from being just a technical checkbox. It's genuinely a powerful strategic asset for literally any business operating online today. But, sometimes these tech upgrades, especially for busy entrepreneurs, small business owners who are juggling a million different things, they can feel intimidating, maybe complicated, maybe expensive. What's the practical reality for businesses looking to actually implement this? Is it this massive, complex overhaul, or is it something more manageable? I mean, for someone listening right now who's trying to grow smarter, not harder, where do they even begin with SSL?
That's a very common and completely understandable concern. You hear terms like encryption protocols and certificate authorities,
Yeah.
and it can definitely sound like you need a dedicated IT department or a big budget.
Right.
But our source material really emphasizes this point. Your SSL certificate isn't just a tech upgrade in that scary, intimidating sense. It's, as we've discussed, a fundamental trust signal. It's a significant ranking boost for your SEO. And it's that
Wow.
silent promise communicating safety and legitimacy to every single person who visits your site. The practical reality, it's far, far less daunting than many people imagine.
Okay, that's good to hear. So how easy is it usually?
Well, for most modern websites, especially if you're using common platforms like WordPress, Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, or similar,
Right.
implementing SSL is incredibly straightforward these days.
Really?
Yeah. Many web hosting providers now actually offer free SSL certificates as part of their standard hosting packages. A prime example is Let's Encrypt. It's a nonprofit certificate authority that provides free, automated, and open SSL TLS certificates that are just as secure and recognized by browsers as the paid ones.
So it might even be free.
It very often is. Many hosts have built-in integrations with Let's Encrypt, making it literally a one-click install in your hosting control panel. For hosts that maybe don't offer it free, or if you need a higher level certificate like an OV or EV, you can purchase a standard DV certificate for a very modest annual fee. We're often talking tens of dollars per year, maybe slightly more.
Okay, tens of dollars a year. That seems very reasonable.
Extremely reasonable, especially when you weigh that minimal cost against the absolutely immense risks and costs of not having it. Potential customer fraud, devastating data breaches, possible lawsuits, getting banned by payment gateways, tanking your SEO rankings, and doing massive damage to your brand reputation.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it seems like a no-brainer investment.
It truly is. The return on investment is almost immediate and undeniable, just in terms of risk mitigation alone, let alone the positive impacts on trust, SEO, and conversions.
So it's probably not about needing complex coding skills or finding a huge budget. It's often as simple as checking your hosting plan, maybe clicking a button or following a few straightforward steps provided by your host.
That's exactly right in the vast majority of cases. It's designed to be accessible now.
That is a huge relief, I bet, for a lot of our listeners.
I hope so.
Hmm.
And the implementation itself is typically very quick. Once the certificate is installed and activated, that SSL encryption process we talked about happens in milliseconds. It's incredibly fast. It integrates seamlessly into your website's performance without noticeably slowing it down.
Which is important too, right? Site speed matters.
Absolutely. Site speed is another huge factor for user experience and SEO. So the good news is you get all the security and trust benefits of SSL without sacrificing performance.
Okay, perfect. So let's maybe recap those core strategic wins again, just to really drive it home for our listener. Tying it back to that theme of working smarter, not harder, how does simply making sure your website has that SSL padlock help you grow smarter?
Okay, great idea. By simply ensuring your website has a valid, properly configured SSL certificate, you are making a fundamentally smarter move for your business because you achieve several key things almost automatically. First, you show up higher on Google and other search engines. This isn't just some theoretical minor perk. It means more organic traffic, more eyeballs on your business, potentially more leads, without necessarily spending extra money on ads. You're leveraging the way search engines already work to your direct advantage, making sure your great content or products actually get seen by the people searching for them.
Smarter visibility. Got it.
Second, you protect your customer data. This isn't just about being nice or ethical, although it is. It's essential for legal compliance in many jurisdictions, and it helps you avoid catastrophic risks like those hefty fines, reputation-destroying lawsuits, or the operational nightmare of dealing with a data breach. It's about fundamentally securing your business's future stability.
Smarter risk management. Okay.
Third, you improve the user experience dramatically. A secure site fosters that immediate sense of comfort and confidence. Visitors feel safe engaging. They're far more likely to explore your content, trust you enough to fill out a form, browse your products without anxiety, and ultimately convert into paying customers or valuable leads. It removes a major psychological barrier right at the entrance.
Smarter conversions. Makes sense.
And fourth, you build long-term brand credibility. This isn't just about getting that one sale today. It's about fostering the kind of loyalty and trust that encourages repeat business, positive reviews, and powerful word-of-mouth referrals over time. In today's crowded digital marketplace, that established credibility becomes one of your strongest competitive differentiators.
Smarter brand building. Love it. So you see, ultimately, SSL is your silent strategic win in this competitive online landscape. It's not just tech, it's a foundational element that underpins your entire digital presence. It helps you not just survive, but actually thrive by building a genuinely trustworthy, reliable, and higher-performing online platform. It's all about leveraging what might seem like a simple technical requirement into a powerful, multifaceted business advantage that's growing smarter.
What a fantastic and incredibly practical deep dive this has been. It really highlights how these seemingly small technical details like that padlock can have these massive, almost cascading impacts on your business's success, on your bottom line, and maybe most importantly, on your relationships with your customers. It's so clear now it's not just about ticking some compliance box. It's truly about competitive advantage, about signaling value, and about genuinely respecting your audience in a tangible, visible way. You're literally building a foundation of trust that can elevate your entire brand perception. Precisely.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. And, it really raises an important, maybe broader question for you, our listener, to think about.
Oh.
In this increasingly digital world where basically every online interaction is a moment, a chance to either build trust or, unfortunately, erode it, the question becomes, what other silent signals might your business be sending out there without you even realizing it?
Other silent signals. That's interesting.
Yeah, something to really consider as you work on leveling up your entire online presence. SSL is one crucial signal, but are there others?
That's a really powerful thought to leave people with, and maybe a bit of a challenge, right, for anyone building an online business. It forces you to think beyond just the obvious. It's not just the padlock then, but maybe the whole cumulative impression your digital presence creates.
Exactly. Think about your website beyond just the SSL certificate. How fast does it load? Is it easy to use on a mobile phone? Is your messaging clear and easy to understand? Does it look professional and credible?
Right. Those things matter too.
Definitely. And think about your social media presence. How consistently do you show up? Is the tone professional? Do your graphics look polished? What about your customer service responsiveness? If someone emails you or contacts you, how quickly and professionally do you respond? Even the tone and, the grammar and spelling in your email communications.
Okay, yeah, all those little details add up.
They all add up.
Yeah.
Are all these touch points consistently reinforcing the trustworthiness, the professionalism, the reliability that you want your brand to project? Or are there maybe other seemingly small details, other little silent signals that could be unintentionally attracting or, worse, deterring your ideal customers?
Yeah.
This deep dive into SSL is just one really important layer, but the whole online world is just full of these subtle, powerful cues.
Absolutely. It's about building that consistent bridge of trust across every single interaction, every touch point. Well, thank you so much for guiding us through this. It's been incredibly insightful.
My pleasure.
We really hope that you, our listener, feel more informed now and more empowered to make those smarter decisions for your business. Ensuring every interaction helps build that crucial trust and really helps you stand out from the crowd.
We certainly do. Keep digging for those insights. Keep looking for those signals.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into your sources. Until then, keep learning, keep building, and keep growing smarter.